You know, I don't really understand what Call of Duty has to lose at this point. I mean, they keep making these announcements about the skill-based matchmaking, and it's clear that there is a outstanding, outspoken opinion by a majority of the player base, right? But instead of, just listening or, playing ball with us, they have decided to say that no, actually, your lived experience is wrong and our data says otherwise. Now, I know I'm a little late to this, 1,000 other content creators have covered this, and admittedly, Call of Duty videos have never really performed well on this channel, but I had to talk about this today because it has been something that has been bothering me for a long time, and when we finally heard from Call of Duty about what was going to happen with Modern Warfare 4, let's just say that I was expecting a little more, which is probably on me, admittedly. So I'm going to assume if you're watching this, you kind of are already up to speed on what's happened, but for those of you who aren't in the know, essentially the Modern Warfare closed beta is happening very soon, and to kind of prepare for that, they changed how matchmaking worked in Black Ops 7. Now, they presented this as it's going to be more open, it's going to be a little different, but it should be a better experience overall. A ton of people tested out that was not the case for most of us. Matchmaking took longer, it was a less random experience and far more controlled in terms of skill-based matchmaking or engagement-based matchmaking. And just overall, it was a bad time comparative to even how things were before, which is not what was advertised with Black Ops 7. To make matters worse, they released the ports of Black Ops 1 and 2, and while there is, yes, engagement-based matchmaking and skill-based matchmaking in those games, it is not as strict, it does not interfere with the experience quite as much, and anyone trying to tell you that it does is just absolutely delusional. So yeah, they present this change in Black Ops 7 as a test for the Modern Warfare 4 beta, and it's supposed to make everything better, and it just clearly doesn't. Everybody is whipped into a fury online, as you know, Call of Duty players do, but then they have the audacity to go like radio silent on it for a long time, just not bringing it up at all. And when they finally talk to us about it, oh boy. You see, the information they're tweeting out, it not only contradicts the lived experience of people who are checking out Black Ops 7 to see what we can kind of expect in the Modern Warfare 4 beta, such as myself, but they also present this information that just feels wrong, it doesn't feel right, in such a way that it is like patronizing, like they're talking down to us. And I guess that's my biggest issue, right? They constantly lean on, well, our data has shown, our numbers have shown, we're this percentage up on yada yada. Call of Duty, but I don't know if I need to be the one that tells you this, but players do not actually care about that right now. Even if that information was accurate, which the data you have provided is clearly not, if you ask anyone who's actually played the game, people would not care because you have spent the better part of a decade just completely stonewalling your player base, telling them that what they want isn't actually going to be better for them. And when we do have these little moments, right, these little instances like, say, when Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 came to PlayStation 5, everybody picked those up, everybody logged in, I went into a party with a group of friends, and I had a good time. I've talked about it in a previous video, but I am trash at those games. I don't know if it's because I was used to Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7, and now the slower movement is really showing that I am just trash, but it didn't matter because each game that we went into was varied. There were players who were better than me, and there were players who were worse than I was. Yes, sometimes I would line up and get clapped with the rest of my team, but you know what? The lobby stuck around and the teams would shuffle, and I would have an opportunity and a chance to not only learn and improve, but also form friendships or rivalries with other players in that lobby. That's essentially all we want. We want those varied experiences. We want persistent lobbies so we can engage with other people in the community. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you guys. It is not looking good for Call of Duty, okay? Black Ops 6 was kind of a mess when it came out, for those of you who weren't around, and then we went directly into Black Ops 7, which is just such a brain-dead idea. I have no idea how that, passed. Genuinely, when you think about it, right? Call of Duty has always alternated between two of its main franchises, at least. One year you may get a Black Ops game, then the next year you get a Modern Warfare game, kind of keeping things fresh and exciting. But somewhere, someone said, what if we just really leaned into the franchise fatigue? What if we followed Black Ops 6 with Black Ops 7? Take a game that people are already upset about and not really enjoying, and just, do that shit again. Second verse, same as the first, a whole lot louder and a whole lot worse. For the record, I actually enjoyed my time with Black Ops 7. I had fun with Black Ops 6, but Black Ops 7 felt better to me overall. But if I'm being honest, if I'm being realistic, I know it is a flawed game, okay? It is my trash little junk food. It is not a filet mignon. I just engage with this and consume it because at this point, I'm kind of just lost in nostalgia, like so many of us, I'm sure are. If you add on top of that the fact that the last Modern Warfare game, Modern Warfare 3, apparently had a god-awful campaign that made people just bail on the franchise entirely, Modern Warfare 4 really, honestly, never stood a chance. So my question is this: what do they actually have to lose at this point? Why aren't they taking the easy win, in my opinion, and saying, you know what? Actually, we hear you guys. We're sorry we haven't communicated well in the past. We're sorry we have stonewalled you on what your opinion of the game is. We want to recommit ourselves to our players, to the people who purchase our games, and the best way we can do so is by listening to you about the matchmaking. And then here's the key part: actually fucking do it. Don't just say you're bringing back open matchmaking and then go with something else because your data points say otherwise, or your shareholders are worried about engagement metrics and store visits. Just actually make the game fun to play, and then see what happens from there. Make it so I can play with my friends who are better than I am or worse than I am and still have a fun time. Make it so that every single time I do really well in a match, I don't immediately think, oh, they just threw me a bone because of engagement-based matchmaking and now I'm going to get my shit pushed in next match. Just actually make the game the way that people are asking you to. You have nothing to lose at this point. Absolutely nothing. Sales of Black Ops 7 were in the gutter, and Modern Warfare 4 is not looking much better based on the fact that they're inviting random people to the Call of Duty Next event and giving away closed beta codes like they're candy on Halloween. Trying to continually serve up the same dish over and over and over again to your customer when they're asking for something different, something they've had before. They know that the restaurant they're at has served this dish before, but for whatever reason, it's just no longer on the menu. We can't do that, I'm sorry. Some guy in a tacky suit is gonna be really upset if the big number go down if I serve you what I served you previously. We gotta give you this new slop. Sorry. Again, I know I'm just some random guy. I know that this is not a Call of Duty channel, and I know that this video probably will only be watched by a couple dozen people. But I just had to get this opinion out. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and just seeing how things have played out recently, it just pushed me over the edge. And you know the worst part? I wanted to be excited to have a game to grind again, right? I've always played grindy games. I don't mind just, doing the same thing over and over again. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? Maybe I will get into Modern Warfare 4. If not on the channel, at least in my downtime so that I have something to focus on, some goals I can work towards. But now I feel like I would be an asshole if I picked up the game at this point. It just makes me feel like, again, I am asking for a simple, can you meet me halfway? Not even saying just curtail to my every whim or anything like that. Just at least show some sign that somewhere in there you have a little bit of humanity and you can, understand where we're coming from, empathize, and meet us halfway. That's all we're asking. And apparently that is just too much. Man, I really hate being negative about this kind of stuff in videos, and I'm not one of those, oh, gaming was way better back in the day and it's trash now. There's still games that are coming out that are incredible. They're great experiences. It just sucks to look back and see a franchise that I once loved just dug out of a grave and somebody is parading around in their skin with a completely different motive and personality. It's just tragic.